were completely safe. Nothing injury or anything like that. We just ran away immediately. But what's killing me is
So you were completely safe, no injuries, no nothing. You walked away immediately, but you had to say that you were nearly physically attacked, but you weren't. So you're a liar.
My friend was there. She was really scared at the time. How painful to see that. Anyway, let's continue. What if you saw the crazy, high violent crime rate, much higher than any other race?
Let's have a look at this. Okay. All right. He says FBI crime stats for 2013. Crime in the United States. Okay. He's got 8,000 here. Now, what we know about these crime stats are these are arrests. I love how they never put these are not sentences. These are not convictions. These are arrests. Do you know what this actually leads to? I love when people bring up, these are the crime stats. Black people commit more crimes. No, black people are arrested more than every other race. So the reality is this. More black people are stopped by police, more black people are arrested, and more black people are charged. Does that mean that more black people actually commit the crimes? No. What it means is that more black people are actually just arrested while they allow white people to continue and go about and do what they have to do and commit crimes. But they just don't arrest them because police will tell you themselves. They are trained to racially profile.
What if you found out Black Lives Matter is actually Black Lives Matter? Remember, black people disproportionately.
I don't even know what the hell he just said. Did he say black rice matters? I'm trying. He said, what would you, I'm going to translate here. I believe he said, what would you do if you found out Black Lives Matter was really Black Rice Matters? Black rice. I mean, wild rice is black. Wild rice is black. It is. I mean, okay. I don't know what he's saying.
Commit more crimes than any other race, especially homicides. So of course, it does make sense. They have more police interactions and more likely to get shot by police. And even if it was true, cops unfairly targeted blacks. Black cops are 3 times more likely to fire their weapons. Here's the thing. So many black people were killed by another black people, and blacks are.
You know, there are statistics that show that the biggest threat to white police officers are white people. The biggest threat to white police officers are white people. Isn't that crazy? Google it. The biggest threat to white police officers and police are white people. Yes. Now he starts throwing around all of these stats, and sometimes, and he's not really showing stats of valid evidence. He's showing screenshots of blogs. But again, I question conviction rate versus being charged. It's a reality. Being arrested. Yes, they arrest us more. We know this. We go through it. We experience it.
More likely to kill cops rather than be killed by cops.
That's a lie because more, as I just stated, more white people, cops are shot at more times by white people. This is a fact.
They are much, much more likely to commit a violent crime than whites against blacks. And black people abort babies more than any other race, considering the small percentage of the population. You see, it doesn't look they care about human lives at all. Seriously.
Why is this video allowed on YouTube? Why? Okay. Let's explain the abortion thing quickly. I learned from a nurse that I know a while back that a lot of the times when white women have abortions, they don't fill in the forms correctly, or they choose to be anonymous. So it's not a fair recording.
If you really believe Black Lives Matter, Why not act like that? Maybe you can name a lot of black people who killed by cops. But can you?
If you really believe Black Lives Matter, why not act like that? This guy talks like a complete racist, delusional white man. We could say if you really believe white lives matter, why don't you act like that? Because more white people kill white people than anyone else. White people commit more murders in the United States than anybody else. Oh, but per capita, Angel. But it doesn't remove the fact that more white people kill white people. I believe it's something, I got to get the figures right. It's on one of my videos. 68% of mass shootings are committed by white people. White people, if white lives matter, why don't you act like that? How many black mass shooters have you seen? But how many white ones have you seen? We've even seen Asian mass shooters. Haven't we? Yes. Yes, we have.
You name any white people or black people killed by black people. Do you really think that their lives are not worth as much as black lives? This woman got shot by a black officer. She was completely unarmed in her pajama. What about this man, unarmed white homeless man who got beaten by cops so badly and died in the hospital from the injuries later? I haven't seen any protest for these people. Why? Because they are not black? I'm not saying.
I'm going to need you to throw up another couple thousand names for it to make a point. Because how many black people have been murdered, unarmed black people have been murdered by police? Trust me, it dwarfs the numbers of white people. But you're Asian. Please, let's discuss how many unarmed Asian men have been killed by police also. Because you might as well join them, let's talk about this.
White people have more issues than black people. My point is, if
white people have more issues than black people? Where? It is a known fact that black people cannot walk down the streets without being harassed and harangued by police officers. It is a known fact that black people are oppressed in the workplace. It is a known fact that black people are victims of prejudice and stereotypical views. It is a known fact that black people can't even drive nice cars without being pulled over by a police officer that says, "Your tail light's out. Get out of the car so I can shoot you in the chest." I don't see white people suffering from colorism. White people don't suffer from racism since they created racism. White people can pretty much say and do whatever they want. So, yeah.
Every single race has issues, not just black people. But you have no idea how many black people keep telling me these words. Slavery, Jim Crow, racism, colorism, racial segregation, microaggression, cultural appropriation.
Say that again. You gotta say that one again.
Racism, colorism, racial segregation, microaggression, cultural appropriation.
Hold on. I know I should have laughed, but we gotta do that again.
Racism, colorism, racial segregation, microaggression, cultural appropriation, whitewashing, white supremacy, and white privilege. Guess who taught me these words? Of course, black people.
Because we experience these things. We experience them. Black people are telling you these things. They are affected by these things on a daily basis. So they're expressing themselves. What is the issue? The funny thing is, most black people do not bring up slavery. I can tell you this right now. Today, I saw a comment on my video that says how the Caucasian race was created. This video has nothing to do with slavery, does not mention racism, nothing at all. It talks about anthropology and out of Africa theory, Neanderthals and Homo sapiens and Denisovans. That's what it talks about. The comment all of a sudden was like, "Did you know that more white people were slaves during the Slavic slave trade from the..." I was like, what? Why are you talking about slavery? The video has nothing to do with slavery. Nobody Nobody. Nobody. Anyway, so yes, black people spoke to you on these things. They told you about these things because it affects them. Why would they not? If something affected you, you would want to speak out on it. And if so many black people come to you and tell you about these things, that must mean it must be a real problem. Let me explain. Let me explain how life goes. Sometimes I'm not aware of issues or problems. I wasn't aware of all the issues that black women suffered. Do you know why? Because I'm not a black woman. So I don't experience life in the same way that a black woman experiences it. Black women came to me and told me of their experiences. They kept telling me the same things. They experienced the same things, so many of them that I thought, wait, this isn't one or two black women experiencing this. This is a large majority of black women. This seems to be the collective. Let me look into this. Let me see what this is about. That's what you're supposed to do when so many people keep coming to you with the same problems. It means they're real, prick.
Every time I talk about race, they push those ideas and try to brainwash me. Black people.
Every time he talks about race, they push these ideas and try to brainwash you. They're not trying to brainwash you. They're trying to educate you. They're trying to express themselves. You're talking about race. You're talking about racism. The biggest victims of racism are black people. So, of course, they're the ones you need to listen to. It's not brainwashing. Idiot. You just don't want to know the truth.
Are oppressed. Don't worry. I do not believe that bullshit. This is a bit.
You don't believe that black people are oppressed. He said he doesn't believe black people are oppressed. Now, let's give him the benefit of the doubt. Let's say he lives in Japan. So he doesn't know what it's like to be a black person in the United States, or even a black person in the United Kingdom, or a black person in Germany, or a black person in the Netherlands, or a black person in France. We could start naming loads of countries where black people are being oppressed.
Is why black crime rate got higher, not because of systemic racism, which doesn't exist. Remember,
I want to point something out very briefly. The crime rate in Chicago has actually dropped in the last year. You notice nobody's talking about that? Oh, Chirac is so rough, all the problems in Chicago. No one's talking about the fact that the crime rate in Chicago dropped.